Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating. We are going to uncover the actual fundamental reasons behind why we do what we do, like every single day. We're going to build a framework, kind of like a taxonomy, if you will, that categorizes literally every single action you take from the minute you wake up until your head hits the pillow. It's all about the business of being busy.
I mean, think about it for a second. Look around you, or just reflect on your own day. Why are we always doing something? Whether you're commuting, cooking, studying, or, just aimlessly scrolling on your phone, you are engaged in an activity. The simple reality is that every single person stays busy doing some kind of work throughout their entire life. But why? Well, the main driver here is this deeply wired need to satisfy our wants and needs. We're constantly seeking fulfillment, and that pursuit, it keeps us perpetually in motion.
And that leads us right to the core concept for this entire explainer: human activities. Now, in the world of commerce and business studies, this is defined super simply as the work done by people in daily life to satisfy their needs. That's the big umbrella. Literally everything you do, brushing your teeth, building a skyscraper, helping a neighbor carry their groceries, it all falls right under this exact definition. It's really the ultimate starting point for figuring out how society actually functions.
Okay, so let's break this taxonomy down. If we look at that massive umbrella of human activities, we can neatly split it into two very distinct branches: non-economic activities and economic activities. Think of these as a mini roadmap for the two completely different paths our daily actions can take. Once you grasp the difference between these two, you kind of unlock this whole new way of looking at human behavior and business at large.
So let's kick things off with branch number 1, non-economic activities. These are the things we do purely for personal satisfaction, driven entirely by the heart, and definitely not by the wallet.
If we look at the strict textbook definition, these are human activities performed to satisfy personal, social, religious, cultural, and sentimental needs. But here is the absolute kicker: they are performed without expecting money. You are literally anticipating zero financial compensation. The reward here isn't a paycheck at the end of the week. The reward is just the fulfillment of an internal, emotional, or societal need. To make this super concrete, think about reading a book on a Sunday afternoon, or maybe spending your weekend serving society at a local food bank. You aren't exactly sending anyone an invoice for your time, right? You're doing it for your own intellectual growth, or to fulfill a social need. The motivation is 100% intrinsic.
We see this in our most relatable, everyday moments, too. When a mother serves tea or cooks for her family, that action is driven by love, duty, and sentiment. There's obviously no financial transaction happening at the kitchen table. The exact same goes for helping poor people in your community. It satisfies this deep cultural or religious desire to just do some good. These are the activities that really form the bedrock of our communities. They hold us together through shared humanity rather than shared currency.
But, as we all know, goodwill alone doesn't pay the rent. So this naturally brings up a pretty big question. What exactly happens when you do an activity and you do expect a paycheck for your efforts? How does this whole framework shift when survival and earning a living enter the chat?
And that brings us right to branch number 2, economic activities. This is the business of survival. If the first branch was all about the heart, this one is driven by the very real necessity of earning your livelihood.
Let's unpack the formal definition for a second. Economic activities involve the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services for money or money's worth. Notice those 3 pillars there: producing something, getting it to the people who need it, and then consuming it, all with the financial baseline. Basically, if your ultimate goal is to earn money to sustain yourself and your family, you are squarely in the realm of economic activity.
And this right here is probably my absolute favorite way to illustrate this. We're looking at the exact same physical action, categorized in 2 completely different ways based purely on intent. On one side, we have a mother cooking food at home. It's done for personal satisfaction, no money is earned, boom, non-economic activity. On the other side, we have a professional cook working in a hotel. The physical action, identical. They are cooking. But because it's done to earn a livelihood and money is actually changing hands, it completely transforms into an economic activity. It's context and intent that define the category, not just the physical movement itself.
Let's reinforce that with another classic example. Take a worker in a factory working for a salary. They are actively engaged in producing goods. Maybe they're assembling electronics or building cars. And in exchange for their time, their sweat, and their skills, they receive a salary. Exchanging your labor for money is the absolute hallmark of an economic activity.
All right, so how do people actually go about doing that? Let's move into the specific types of activities, basically the 3 paths you can take to earn that money.
Within this branch of economic activities, there are 3 distinct buckets your work can fall into. Number 1, business. Number 2, profession. And number 3, employment. So whether you're a rogue entrepreneur launching a tech startup, a doctor running a private clinic, or a software engineer clocking in at a massive corporation, your economic activity fits into one of these 3 paths.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how business itself is actually defined. It's not just about making money in a vacuum. It is an organized activity of producing and selling goods and services to earn profit and satisfy the needs of society. See that dual goal? Yes, you want to earn a profit. That's what makes it an economic activity, but it literally only works if it also satisfies a real need in society. If nobody needs what you're selling, you don't make a profit and, well, the business goes under. It is this really beautiful synergy between self-interest and societal benefit.
We've covered some fantastic ground here today. Let's do a quick review and put it all together to see these concepts side by side.
To make this crystal clear before we wrap up, let's look at the ultimate goal. A non-economic activity is entirely about personal satisfaction, whereas an economic activity is all about earning a livelihood. If we jump down to the outcome, it's a striking binary: no money earned versus money earned. And finally, that perfect comparative example to anchor it all in reality: a mother cooking food for love versus a hotel cook doing it for a paycheck. If you can visualize that matrix in your head, you have absolutely mastered the baseline of human activities.
So, as we close out today's explainer, I want to leave you with a quick, provocative thought to test out your new knowledge. Think about exactly what you are doing right this very second. You're sitting here watching this explainer, investing your valuable time into learning this material based on the framework we literally just built. Is watching this an economic or a non-economic activity? Think about your personal motivation. Are you watching this purely for the personal satisfaction of learning something new? Or are you studying this to maybe pass a big exam, get a degree, and eventually earn a livelihood out there in the business world? Your answer might just determine which branch you're sitting on right now. Thanks so much for joining me today to explore the business of being busy. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you in the next explainer.